Isabelle Watson-Rims.
Isabelle.
Ndume Olatouchani. Costanza Villafranca.
Elle est où?
Costanza. Ah. Et Catherine Sommer, donc qui va modérer la discussion. Merci beaucoup, Catherine.
Merci beaucoup, merci à tous d'être là ce soir et je crois que vous savez aussi qu'on aura la chance de pouvoir avoir un coup de fil très particulier tout à l'heure puisqu'on aura la possibilité de parler directement à Kenneth Reams qui va appeler d'ici une petite demi-heure sur le téléphone de la réalisatrice Anne-Frédérique Wiedmann. Et c'est à elle que je vais d'abord poser la toute première question, de savoir, on a vu le titre de ce film qui s'appelle Free Men, ce qui n'est pas nécessairement évident. Doumé, est-ce qu'il comprend, il entend ce qui se passe?
You want me to sit down beside you and I do the translation?
Oh.
That might be better.
Il a un casque autrement.
Okay.
Apparently you have a headset here and you can hear everything like the translation. Apparently it's going to come.
Okay, it's gonna come.
Alors donc tout d'abord ce titre effectivement qui ne semble peut-être pas évident avec le film et le sujet dont le film parle. Pourquoi des hommes libres?
Bah là, il y a déjà Kenneth, il y a Ndoumé, ça fait 2. Et je pensais qu'on était tous concernés en fait par cette thématique. Bien sûr, là c'est l'extrême, c'est une cellule de 2 mètres sur 3, c'est les couleurs de la mort. Mais l'accession au sentiment de liberté, donner un sens à sa vie, arriver à repousser ses limites, à repousser les murs de nos cellules, c'est en fait une histoire complètement universelle. Et c'est pour ça que ce film s'appelle Free Men au pluriel.
Peut-être un mot aussi de la situation dans laquelle Kenneth se trouve actuellement, entre le moment où le film s'est terminé et l'annonce que son cas allait peut-être être revu, mais pas évidemment dans le sens que lui il espère et que vous espérez également. Qu'en est-il en ce moment?
Donc il a été condamné à la perpétuité. Donc il est condamné théoriquement à la perpétuité maintenant. Perpétuité aux États-Unis, c'est jusqu'à la mort. Il n'y a pas de remise de peine. Et l'Arkansas se bat pour faire réinstaller sa condamnation à mort. L'Arkansas ne veut absolument pas lâcher sur cette affaire et ne lâchera que quand il sera exécuté, en fait. Donc on attend, dans les mois qui viennent, la décision de la Cour suprême de l'Arkansas. Ça va être avant l'été, d'après son avocat George. Et c'est après, en fait, qu'il faudra bouger. Comme vous avez entendu, Kenny Reams, le jour où il apprend cette effroyable nouvelle, parce que il avait vraiment l'espoir qu'il allait obtenir un nouveau procès, et le jour où il apprend que ce n'est pas le cas et qu'il va être enfermé pour de longues années, qu'est-ce qu'il dit? Il dit faudra faire des t-shirts et lancer une campagne Free Kenny Reams Campaign, et vous allez acheter des t-shirts. Et en fait, ce soir d'ailleurs, on va profiter, parce qu'on a rebondi aussi avec le festival, grâce à Isabelle Gatiker, qui, entendant ça, a dit imprimons des t-shirts. Donc vous allez voir des t-shirts dehors. C'est des t-shirts qui sont vendus pour la campagne Free Kenny Reams. Et puis vous allez voir aussi plus tard un lien où vous pourrez, si vous voulez, donner votre nom. On vous demande rien pour l'instant, mais peut-être que s'il est condamné à mort dans 1 mois, dans 2 mois, dans 3 mois, et donc il risque d'être exécuté dans 3, 4, 5 ans, peut-être qu'il y aura besoin d'une campagne de lettres, peut-être qu'il y aura besoin de choses comme ça, et si ça vous intéresse de savoir ce qui arrive à Kenny et d'agir à ce moment-là, il faudra donc signer sur cette page Internet. Voilà.
Merci. Une question peut-être maintenant pour Ndoumé qui est ici avec nous. On est vraiment content de vous avoir là. C'était la première fois, je crois, que vous voyez ce film. On a vu que c'était parfois dur aussi de se remettre par exemple dans cette petite cellule. Qu'est-ce que ça vous a fait de voir ce film?
Well, I first want to commend Ann and everybody that did everything that they did to bring Kenny's story to you guys, because it's really important. I'm only sitting here because it was good people got involved. Otherwise, I would have been one of them people that was executed, And I'm sure whoever look at the names of these people been executed in the United States, they would have said I was just another one of them people deserve nothing more than what I got. And I'm telling you, everything that you've seen about Kenny on there, Kenny is living. And it's going to be those of us that get involved like they're asking us to, that's actually going to make the difference and save his life. To answer your question about, when I sit and look at this, yes, it's my first time actually watching it, and I feel sad because I think about not only what I've been through, but also too what Kenny and so many others in the United States are still going through. The United States is so far behind with respect to certainly Switzerland and Western Europe with respect to this whole issue about the death penalty. So for me, I mean, when like you said, just going back into that cell, I can't. It's really hard to put in words. What it really means and what it really feels like to be sitting in a cell, 4 by 9 foot cell, 23 hours of the day. Every time you come out, you chained and shackled like some imaginary monster. It's like when you seen them guys in the video exercising on the yard in these cages. In some parts of the United States, and I'm sure it's probably true here, you can't even put a dog in a cage and keep them like they do human beings. And so, like I said, I'm really happy that you guys is bringing his story, and we're gonna bring him home.
Maybe one more question, because maintenant qu'il a mis son casque, il comprend. Vous avez cette force en vous maintenant d'être un homme libre, et vous l'avez dit, la liberté, c'est un état d'esprit. Est-ce que vous avez toujours été comme ça, avec cette espèce de sérénité qu'on sent maintenant, ou est-ce qu'au cours des 28 années, vous avez beaucoup changé?
Yeah, I think I've always, kind of had this inner strength and peace that I can only attribute to my mother. My mother was such a strong individual, and she, I mean, when you talk about, just kind of strength, and I think that I always had it. And I think also too, the first couple of years that I was in prison, I was pretty angry about what had happened to me, and rightfully so. But some things happened in my life a couple of years after I was in prison that that I was able to pick myself back up from. And once that happened, once my mother was actually killed in a car accident 2 years after I was in prison, and that was the thing that I was already low, but when that happened, I couldn't be hurt no more. But it was after that happened that I began to pick myself up, and I knew that I had to. I couldn't be angry at the people that did what they done to me. I had to move on, and that's the thing that allowed for me, to hopefully sit before you guys a whole person that, life is gonna throw some curves at us, and it's really not about being knocked down. It's how you're gonna pick yourself up, and that's what I chose to do, is pick myself up, and part of that is being able to let go the anger that I had toward the people that did what they did to me, because while I was seething in anger, they had skipped off on down the street doing whatever, kept doing what they did. In fact, the prosecutors and police that did the things that they did to me, they did it to other people because they were sitting right there on death row with me. So when I met other people right there on death row with me that had the same police and prosecutors that had did the different things, the same things that they did to me to them, so I know it wasn't just me that they was actually doing it to. So we had to move forward. Yeah.
On a entendu aussi dans ce film la difficulté parfois pour Kenneth d'avoir des bons jours, d'avoir des mauvais jours, et il a aussi parlé de l'importance, de votre importance à vous, Isabelle, pour lui qui est là à l'extérieur. ce mariage qu'on a entendu, qu'on n'a pas vu, j'imagine qu'on n'avait pas le droit de le voir, pas le droit d'avoir une caméra, est-ce qu'il a changé quelque chose à votre relation, à vous?
Le mariage? Est-ce que le mariage...
A changé la relation entre vous et Kenneth maintenant que vous êtes mariés? Est-ce que ça... Vous êtes toujours l'un pour l'autre ce que vous étiez avant, ou est-ce que ça a renforcé les liens après l'avoir attendu pendant si longtemps?
Je vais essayer de résumer un peu l'histoire, parce que j'ai beaucoup de choses à dire sur Kenneth. Quand je l'ai rencontré au début, je vais vous faire un état de l'amour qu'on a eu l'un pour l'autre. Au début, c'était amical, et puis après, c'était une sorte de coup de foudre de son caractère et lui du mien en échange, parce qu'on se reconnaît beaucoup sur certaines choses. Enfin, c'est lui qui me le dit, hein, c'est pas moi qui le dis. Et puis après, finalement, il y a eu des bagarres. Est-ce que je dois continuer? Est-ce qu'il doit continuer? Et puis à un moment donné, c'est comme si... il dit souvent ça, et je le dis aussi, c'est quand on se retrouve contre le mur que là, on reprend encore plus de force et qu'on a encore plus envie de se battre. Et bizarrement, à chaque fois qu'on se dispute, on apprend à se disputer mieux, en se respectant mieux, on respecte la vie de l'un de l'autre et on construit encore plus fort. Parce qu'on a appris à s'accepter, parce que ça reste une situation de couple. C'est pas parce qu'il est derrière les murs que j'ai pas de relation avec lui. Je connais cet homme depuis 13-14 ans maintenant. J'ai communiqué énormément avec lui. Et j'ai une amie qui me dit que, bizarrement, notre couple est constitué de beaucoup plus de communication que celui d'un autre à l'extérieur.
Bah, vous êtes obligé.
Voilà, donc je crois que ça nous a encore plus renforcés. Et je pense que ce qui m'a encore plus rassuré à chaque fois, c'est quand je vois le résultat, quoi. À chaque fois, il me dit, on va faire quelque chose, on va aller à Londres, on a été à Londres. On va à New York, on a été à New York. On va en Arkansas, on a été en Arkansas. Je lui ai sorti l'histoire de Cuba pour rigoler, mais il m'a dit, on va y aller quand même. Le film, il m'en avait toujours parlé. On y est. La musique, il m'en a toujours parlé. On y est aussi. La prochaine, c'est quoi?
Qui est à côté de vous.
La prochaine, c'est quoi? Et pour moi, le t-shirt, oui, mais après, pour moi, c'est quand il sera sorti. Ça doit être celle-là. On ne peut pas continuer. C'est magnifique tout ça, mais il faut que le prochain projet, ça soit lui qui sorte. Point barre.
Ça, vous y croyez? Vous arrivez
Moi, je crois qu'il doit. Moi, ce que je crois, c'est d'abord, je vais vous préciser que j'ai jamais été dans un combat précis contre la peine de mort ou pour la peine de mort. Je me bats pour un combat. Je pense que d'autres devraient faire leur combat. Celui-là, c'est le mien, c'est celui de mon mari aujourd'hui. Je ne peux que y croire qu'il doit sortir. Parce que s'il ne sort pas, tout ça, ça va servir à quoi? Ce changement doit être fait, surtout par, vous avez vu, le Sud, la mentalité, c'est primitif, c'est basé par... Bon, je peux parler pendant des heures sur la mentalité, sur la politique qu'il y a là-bas, parce que j'y vais souvent et je connais bien la mentalité. J'ai vécu aux États-Unis 25 ans quand même, donc... Mais je pense que le combat le plus dur, c'est justement les mentalités, la justice et la politique. Et c'est ça le plus dur. Nous, on est des petits à côté.
Anne, on a entendu une fois que Kenneth avait pas le moral. Hein. Les autres fois, il avait l'air très fort. Est-ce qu'au cours de la relation que vous avez eue pendant tout ce film, est-ce que ces moments difficiles, hein, ils étaient nombreux?
Nombreux, non, mais réguliers. En fait, il a vraiment l'honnêteté de dire que se battre, quand en fait le combat contre la vie à l'isolement est jamais gagné. Ces murs continuellement l'enserrent, bougent, l'étouffent, et il dit je dois rester vigilant chaque jour, et que si je baisse la garde et que je suis un peu fragilisée, c'est là que ces murs m'enserrent. Ces murs... Peut-être son cas est un peu trompeur, parce que ces murs rendent fous 90% des condamnés à mort, et au-delà des condamnés à mort, des 80 000 personnes qui vivent à l'isolement aux États-Unis. Hein, c'est extrêmement dur de résister. Mais au-delà de ces moments de combat où il était mal, moi, ce que je trouve incroyable, c'est ces moments de force. Enfin, c'est sûr que de croire, d'avoir de l'espoir. Kenneth, il soutient sa famille, il soutient Isabelle. Hein, Isabelle? Il soutient le monde autour de lui. C'est vrai que c'est comme ça qu'il s'est trouvé une identité et puis un rôle dans le monde, en fait, avec ses magnifiques projets et avec vraiment sa capacité à dire je vais vivre la journée qui commence maintenant et demain on verra.
Ndoumé, on vous a vu faire le tour des écoles, des différentes communautés pour parler justement de ce qui vous est arrivé. Après avoir été finalement seul pendant si longtemps, hein, 20 ans en isolement, est-ce que finalement de rencontrer ces gens, d'être au milieu des gens, d'abord, est-ce que c'est quelque chose de facile? Et quelle est l'importance de ces rencontres et de parler de ce qui vous est arrivé?
Yes, it's very important to me. I think that the thing that I'm such a strong believer in knowledge makes us responsible. Once we know something, we don't have any excuses. And for me, you know, going through everything that I went through, I think that I always say that whatever fires that we go through in life, if you survive it, it ain't meant for you. It's meant for other people. You just got to know that you're charged with that responsibility to get up and help somebody, get somebody else some hope. I don't know, when you talk about people sitting on death row, and like Ann said about, you know, a lot of people, I've seen people on death row not only be executed, I've seen people on death row commit suicide. I've seen sane people become insane. And so partly for me, because of, I mean, the things that I went through, and when I see in America, locking people up is a huge industry. When you have hundreds of billions of dollars involved in locking people up, that simply means in America, somebody going to jail. And unfortunately, disproportionately, they look like me and other black and brown people. And so I know that it's very important to me that I let young people know that it's a system operating around them that need them in the jail cell, and I just want them to be on with the information, so at least they'll know that if you're going and doing something that you may get you in trouble, it's like Kenny. I mean, 18-year-old kid can't see. You got one kid want to graduate from high school, but he don't want to go and walk the graduation line without a cap and gown. So in their mind, they can't think past knocking on somebody's door saying that, listen, I'm finna graduate. Can you help me get a $10 to help me buy a uniform? It's gonna cost $100 or whatever. Mm-hmm. They can even think past that. So that in their mind, the only thing that they think, okay, well, let's just go rob somebody. And you find him where he at. And unfortunately, it happens all too often. And I'm trying to take every opportunity to let young people know that don't fall into this trap. It's a trap.
Une autre manière de communiquer, c'est ce que vous faites, hein, Isabelle, avec cette fondation Who Decides et ces œuvres d'art, les vôtres et celles de Kenny qui ont fait le tour du monde, deux, je crois, expositions, en tout cas pendant la durée du film. Est-ce que ça, pour Kenny, le fait que maintenant il soit un artiste reconnu par rapport à ce combat-là, est-ce que pour lui, c'est... On a compris que c'était important, mais est-ce qu'il continue à produire maintenant?
Oui, jamais. Kenneth n'arrête jamais. C'est même pas une question à poser. Kenneth n'arrêtera jamais. Ça, c'est certain.
Et c'est lui qui vous donne parfois des thèmes, ou c'est comment vous fonctionnez entre...
On travaille ensemble. Il cherche, je fais des recherches, il fait des recherches. On échange, on pense aux idées, on travaille ensemble. Moi, je lui propose des trucs, lui me propose des fois, on se met en compétition aussi, et même souvent, et de plus en plus, je crois, là. C'est genre l'histoire du petit garçon qui a été exécuté à l'âge de 14 ans et qui a été aujourd'hui, ce que je déteste le mot, exonéré, alors qu'il était innocent. Et c'est un film horrible que j'ai pas osé regarder sur YouTube, où vous voyez un petit gamin de 14 ans monter les escaliers pour aller se faire exécuter sur une chaise électrique, alors qu'il n'avait rien fait. comment il s'appelait, George Staney. J'ai dessiné George Staney et quand il a vu le beau boulot que j'avais fait, il a dit bon, il faut que je m'y mette aussi. C'est un peu ça qui se passe entre nous. Donc du coup, ça s'arrêtera jamais.
Et cette idée qu'il a de vouloir faire un musée sur la peine de mort,
Ça a
est-ce
toujours
que
été.
ça a toujours été
Depuis le début, avant même qu'on construise ou des SAES, tout ça. Ça a toujours été.
Et il y a quoi que ce soit de concret qui...
Ce qui se passe en fait, c'est que je pense que Kenneth veut, par le musée, Kenneth veut que vous apprendre aux gens ce que c'est le système. Parce que moi, j'étais au début pas si intéressée par le sujet, mais j'ai dû m'y intéresser parce que de plus en plus, je voyais des injustices. Aujourd'hui, hashtag 200, c'est une femme innocente qui vient de sortir. Il y en a, ça fait 200 même, il y en a sûrement beaucoup plus. Et à force de lire les histoires, et quand on voit le ridicule, comme les gens qui ont été... on continue à apprendre, et après on a envie de comprendre, et après on a envie d'expliquer aux autres. Mais il y a tellement de choses à raconter, il y a tellement d'histoires à vous raconter, tellement d'injustices que finalement il nous faudrait un musée. Donc l'idée n'est pas mauvaise du tout. Moi, ça va prendre beaucoup de travail, beaucoup de gens qui y croient vraiment et qui ont... voilà, enfin moi je pense que c'est ça qu'on a besoin, des gens qui croient en cette idée-là, quoi.
C'est un film sur l'espoir aussi, c'est un film
Ouais.
sur l'engagement. Peut-être une question pour vous, Costanza, qui avait fait la musique originale de ce film. Vous avez fait la musique, puis je crois que vous avez eu envie de faire plus, parce que comme beaucoup de gens autour de Kenneth, vous vous êtes senti interpellé.
Yeah, I mean, first of all, I want to take the occasion to thank Anne also, because to call me to do this movie, for me, it was really a life-changing experience. Sorry, I'm a bit emotional, but really Kenneth changed my life. I have to do this. Like the strength that he has and the hope, it really made me think about my life completely different. So it's not just about the music. I'm happy I did the music, but I'm really happy that I got to know this person. I got to know Isabel, and I think it's him now.
Wait, let's hold.
SecurusTablet.com. This tablet device will allow them to listen to music, subscribe to podcasts, look for jobs prior to release, play games, and much more.
Thank you for using Securus. You may start the conversation now.
Ken,
Hello, Ann, how are you?
great. Hey, I have to tell you.
Hello?
It's like 300 people
Clapping you.
clapping. Have to clap for you. You want to tell us something? Can you hear?
I hear you in Dume. How many people you say in the room?
300 and something.
Okay, pretty cool. This is, I guess, would be my biggest audience. They can hear me. Can you all hear me well? Let me hear the crowd one more time. I hope that the film was a good film, inspirational film. I hope it was a film that was powerful for some of you all to watch and see. My true story. But I want to start first of all by saying thank you. Thank you to you, Isabel, to my wife, for the strength, the courage, the love that you have given to me. It has empowered me to want to be a better person. I want to say that first of all. And I mean that from the bottom of my heart, baby. Thank you. To To the film festival, big ups to you all for whoever the powers at be that chose the film to view the film, to show the film to the world. I think my story needs to be told and should be told. To you and for, man, all of the hard work you put in, sister, to make this happen, to tell my story, to give people a better sense of what freedom is. Freedom is more than just wanting to be not confined in chains. Freedom is a lot of things. To the many people that helped put the project together, Corinne, Nicholas, Carlos Diaz, Coco for the music, all of these things. Indume for your willingness, brother, to be a part of the project. You know, thank you, man. And hopefully I'll be able to someday, one day, shake your hand as a free man and help someone else, maybe not even on death row, but to dream in the power for the things that you see in your mind, in your heart, you know. I say thank you to you all. Now, the audience, hey, big up to you all for giving me the opportunity just to share my voice. to share my voice. And y'all sound like some free people, you know. But more importantly, I say this to you all. I am confined in solitary confinement on death row, and I've been here for over half of my natural life for a wrong that I committed. I committed wrong, but at the age and point that I was in my life, I was unaware of life, hadn't even understood what love was in the world, you know, had been through a lot of traumatic experiences in my young years and ended up on death row out of a circumstance that happened in less than 1 minute, 30 seconds. It changed the span of my life tremendously. However, I am fighting to overcome that, you know. Like I said earlier, not saying that I'm innocent or I shouldn't be punished for the wrong thing, but sincerely, do it deserve to be locked up for the rest of my life, or do it deserve for me to even be executed? Some of the powers that be here in the state of Arkansas and America feel that I should be, which these are what my baby Isabel would like to call lazy intellectuals. These are lazy intellectuals that think in that realm of thinking, I believe and feel. My case is currently being appealed in the Arkansas Supreme Court because the state has said they seriously feel that I should be executed when I didn't even pull the trigger in this crime. The actual trigger man is doing a life without parole and admits that he was the actual trigger man. So to you all, the audience, I say I need for you all to take a step forward and fight with me. Anybody in the audience, whatever you can do, are you willing to be someone to support by sending an email to the Attorney General? Is it anyone that's willing to be a part of the campaign, give funding to the campaign? I feel that all of these things are needed and will be needed in order for me to overcome this. Indume is an individual that experienced what I am going through, you know, in a lot of measures. And he will and can testify to the fact that it requires a lot. You know, people like you all. For me to be able to get the opportunity to say, hey, stand up and fight for me, stand up and fight with me if you believe that my story is one that deserves justice, true justice, for what that should be and mean in the world, then stand up and fight for the Free Kenny Reams campaign. Sign up. Get on the internet and sign up for the campaign. And if you are actually an individual who has signed up, trust me, we will be contacting you if there's nothing more to say. Would you be willing to be a part of this petition? You know, because it's going to take more than just the film to free me from this cell. As an individual, I'm free in more ways than a lot of you all will maybe even imagine. If you all heard my voice in the film, you all probably thought about some of the things I say as simple as, hey, walking on grass or eating an apple. That's freedom in a lot of ways. So I want y'all to think about those things. And maybe even try to watch the movie or encourage someone else to watch the movie as we go forward. And to the powers that be in the room, Kenny is not just doing this to be released from prison. I'm doing this to share what real freedom is in the world. You all that have power in the room, think about that when you're dealing with someone that may not be as advantaged as you or in the situation that you're in. Because when I am released from this cell, which I believe I will do because of the people like you all, I intend to carry this type of energy to the outside world and society and do more positive things with my life. And travel the world with my wife as we do it.
Kenny, you know what? I was wondering, would you agree to answer some questions from the audience?
No, I don't want to answer no questions. They might ask me too many serious questions. No, I'm just joking. Yes.
Let's go. So we'll see if someone wants to ask you a question.
Alors, est-ce que, je ne sais pas s'il y a des micros qui se baladent dans la salle.
No,
Voilà.
Can they get a little closer to
Donc, si quelqu'un a une question à poser à Kenneth, levez la main, qu'on vous amène un micro. Il faut lui dire qu'il a déjà donné plein d'éléments qui font réfléchir les gens. Alors les gens sont un peu tétanisés, ils sont en train de réfléchir à la notion justement de liberté. En haut. Alors est-ce qu'il y a un micro en haut?
Yeah, Kenneth, I'm speaking in English to you. My name is Stephanie. I don't have much question because what we saw in the movie was really impressive. I just wanted to tell you how powerful your testimony is and that you're giving me a lot of strength. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Hi, Kenneth. My name is Emily, and I'm an activist. I would like you to tell us, Shisi, I would like you to tell us a bit more about the prison industrial complex and the money machine that it is. Because right now we're focusing on individual stories, but I don't think people realize that in the United States the prison system is privatized and there's a financial incentive to have you guys locked up. And Dume has spoken a bit about the systematic racism and the process that gets so many young black men in particular into jail. But perhaps you can tell us more about the system so that people really understand how it functions.
Okay, I heard part of what she said. Can you tell me the gist of what she just asked?
The money machine.
Prison industrial system.
And the money machine that it is.
Well, yes, it is clearly that. It is a $1 billion industry for America. And when I say $1 billion industry yearly, it is $1 billion industry. It is designed for this. A lot of the large corporations in America, like a Walmart, they are part of a bigger conglomerate called ALEC. I don't know if any of you all in the audience have ever heard of ALEC, but look it up. ALEC. It's called ALEC. Google it, and it will tell you some outrageous things, outlandish things on how these corporations actually run the criminal justice system in America. The telephone system, how they would charge you $26 for one phone call. Well, most people in prison are living in poverty. Do you think they have $20 to pay for one, telephone call? It is things like this that continue to fuel the criminal justice system with a lot of the laws that we have here in America. And as I say, Ndume is that's there can clearly testify to these things. It's not just being said. But the wild thing about it is that a lot of the inmates are not even aware of it because they're not knowledgeable of these things. It is only a few that choose to open their mind and read more, study more, and looking at the system for what it truly is, what it is truly designed for.
Yeah, maybe a word, Ndume. When were you aware that it was a money machine, this place you were in?
I sit in prison for nearly 30 years, and so I came in the early 80s, and in the late 80s and the 90s, you begin to see this shift inside the prisons. Like Emily, I think she said her name is up there. That prison is a huge industry in the United States. Huge, hundreds of billions of dollars is involved in locking people up. You got companies from Victoria's Secret used to use prison labor. It's only been a few years ago that they stopped using prison laborers to make stuff for Victoria's Secret. So you got all these companies that pay inmates, 20 cents an hour, 17 cents an hour, 50 cents an hour, maybe up to $1 an hour to produce their goods inside the prison system. And when you hear the United States are always talking about places like China and other places where they use prison labor. But the United States is one of the biggest countries that use prison labor, even though that they point the finger at other countries. And the reality is that as long as you got that type of incentive to keep somebody sitting in a prison, say in America, and let me be real clear about this here, somebody going to jail. And like I said, most often than not, they look like me or other people of color disproportionately. And so, we doing everything that we can to try to expose this industry for what it is, and trying to educate people so companies that's inside the prison system, just like Kenny said, you could go on the internet and Google companies operating inside the prison system in America. And I'm sure some of the things that they making in America in the prison system, they probably sold right in this country. So get on there, find out who they are, and don't spend your money with them.
Okay, we will.
Thank you. T-shirt, literally, I say this to you all, the audience. That T-shirt you all may have on, it was probably made somewhere. It could have very well been made somewhere in America by an inmate in prison, and he didn't even get a penny for making it. They may pay 17 cents an hour.
Une autre question pour Kenneth?
Go ahead.
Hi, Kenny. My name is Mary, and I'm.
How are you doing, Mary?
Okay, I'm Ndume's sister, and I'm here in Switzerland. And I looked at this film, and I felt everything that your family felt, because I felt it with Ndume. And I feel Isabel pain, because when you love somebody that that shouldn't go through what they are going through, you feel what they feel, but not as hard as you feel. And I'm looking forward to meeting you and shaking your hand with Ndume, because I know the higher power is going to see you out of this. We pray for Ndume, and I'm going to pray for you too, and I pray for a lot of you all. And you just keep being strong, because it's going to happen. And I'm praying that it be quickly. And God be with you, and you continue to hold your head up. Hold your head up. And God bless you. And Isabel, I love you. I love you.
I want to say this. To you, sister. Thank you for the words, powerful words that you just spoke. Again, I say this. Isabel, she has been a great power in my life, a great energy. Pray for Isabel too. Because
Yes.
Isabel needs the strength to go through the things that she has to go through with dealing with me and the circumstances in my life. You know, she needs the same strength and courage sometimes that I need to overcome this. On some days when I'm not ready to deal with this or want to deal with it, she may just say something funny or crazy to lighten the load. But there are days when she struggles. Nobody gets to see these days, you know, other than maybe me sometimes. So think about Isabel, and I say that seriously because Isabel is part of the struggle in all of this.
Can I
But
say
at the
something?
end of the day, hey, the aim is to
I'm
help
the
me
boss.
overcome this circumstance that
I'm
dealing
the
with.
boss. Can you hear me, Ken? Can you hear me, Ken? Kenny.
Okay, I hear you, baby.
Ah,
Yes.
you recognize my voice. I don't even have to say it. It's me. I want to tell you something, baby. I want to tell you right here, right now, because I have to do this. I always say that to people, and some people that know me understand what I'm saying. And I'm going to say it in front of everybody else because I think I want to. This is really important to me, what's going on for him. I don't know if I'm going to be there to see his freedom one day, but I want to say thank you for giving me the life that I had with you. I have probably a better love life than some of y'all. And I want to say, je t'aime beaucoup, 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 beaucoup. And you did it again. That's what I did.
Okay. We might have something else for you. I think you like to surprise Isabel, I think, and we have a little surprise for you that maybe we were going to do it after your phone call, but maybe you're part of it, and maybe it would be nice for you to hear the song that Costanza made for you.
Juste ajouter. Ça marche ou ça marche pas? Ce qui est magnifique avec cette aventure, c'est que I'm just going to tell the story of the song. Just hold. Donc, faire ce film avec Kenny, c'était aussi une aventure. C'était une fenêtre sur qui s'ouvrait sur le monde pour lui. Donc, on l'a vraiment fait ensemble. Je lui ai décrit les séquences, décrit toute l'histoire. Et Costanza, quand elle travaillait sur la musique, donc elle était vraiment... elle avait envie de faire quelque chose. Et Kenneth avait toujours voulu écrire une chanson et la mettre en musique. On aurait bien sûr beaucoup voulu mettre cette chanson dans le film. Mais pour des questions d'agenda, on n'y est pas arrivé. Et Costanza a dit, eh ben, on va travailler sur ce projet, on va le lancer. Donc en fait, ils ont commencé à travailler sur une chanson avec la voix d'un condamné à mort. Je crois pas que ça s'est déjà fait. Et c'est ça qu'on aimerait vous faire écouter pour vous montrer qu'il y a quand même beaucoup de choses qui sont possibles. Ça paraît un peu bête, mais quand même, écouter une chanson à laquelle a participé un condamné à mort, ça va au-delà des larmes que vous avez entendues, je trouve. Donc, musique.
C'est pas tout à fait prévu maintenant. Est-ce que... Voilà. Un peu moins de lumière.
Freedom. What is freedom? Freedom is a state of mind. Freedom is independence. Freedom is liberation and the right to choose. But what does freedom mean to you? We free men. We free men. We free men. We free men. We free men.
We're calling out freedom, freedom, freedom.
freedoms and external freedoms. Tell me, is freedom independence? Is freedom liberation? Is freedom the right to choose? Freedom from stress, freedom from addiction, freedom from habit, freedom from fear. Is freedom free will, or is freedom just a state of mind? What does freedom mean to you? Think about it and tell me, what's your definition of freedom? We free men.
I just want to say something quickly.
No, y'all.
Yeah.
Y'all really have to give it up to Coco for making me sound so good.
She just wants to say something.
Well, I just want to say that Kenny sent me these lyrics yesterday. So I did this last night, just so you know, but we really wanted to give something to you for the future, you know, to let you, you know, be part of it and share with you that Kenny is doing things, we are doing things, we're moving ahead, and this is the beauty of believing in freedom and to hope for it. So,
well, thank you so much for it. Maybe Kenneth wants to add something.
Kenny, you want to add something?
Say, y'all don't even really, y'all have no clue really. I'm free right now, even though I'm in solitary confinement, talking to you all over the airwaves about my life. I'm not even in prison right now. Seriously. I'm in Switzerland with y'all. I can't see the room, don't know the layout of the room, but I feel the energy. And we talking about freedom. Not just the freedom of, like, in the words, you know, it's freedom liberation. A lot of times you can open the door and that don't necessarily mean that you're free. Some of you all may be dealing with freedom of habits, freedom of guilt, freedom of shame. Think about it. What is the definition of freedom to you? Powerful question from a man sitting on death row.
And laughing.
Think about it.
Est-ce que quelqu'un a encore
the question that I have seriously for you all is, who in the audience is willing to stand up and help me fight? Stand up and help me push back these walls. To help me dream about that museum. To help me push towards that goal. Though I've been solitary confinement on death row for over half of my life, I still have a whole lot of life left in me. A whole lot of energy left in me. You know, I'm worthy of the shot and the chance. Stand up and fight for me. Stand up and call back for freedom for me. Not just for me, but for a lot of other people that's in the world that's dealing with a lot of other problems other than just being in a prison cell, because that is not just one aspect of freedom, what freedom is, what we look at freedom to be anyway. So I say to y'all, stand up and help me fight. Sign up, become a part of the Free Kenny Reams campaign because the struggle continues.
You know what, Kenny? So I'm just going to tell them that just behind us, there's the Free Kenny Reams campaign, and there is the... wait, I'm going to switch to French, okay? Forgive me.
Donc là, c'est le lien que vous pourrez trouver. Il y a aussi une page Free Men Movie. Et c'est un lien où vous pouvez juste vous inscrire, ça ne vous engage à rien. Et on vous tiendra au courant de tout. Maintenant, il y a les t-shirts qui vous attendent dehors. Il y a aussi, on n'en a pas encore parlé, la réplique de la cellule de Kenneth, donc grandeur nature, qui est juste devant la porte. Quand vous sortez d'ici, si vous avez l'occasion, allez juste vous enfermer dedans. Je dois dire que moi, ça me surprend à chaque fois. Je trouve ça toujours plus petit que tout ce que je peux imaginer. Et je pense que ça vaut la peine de le faire quand vous sortirez.
So I'm telling them that they could go in your mock cell that's just outside, so they could try it, okay?
Yeah.
You have the same experience.
Yes. Yes, sure.
Like this, you won't be alone in your cell.
Okay.
Okay, everybody's coming up to you.
Hey, can I say one last thing before?
So, you're having a standing ovation.
Free Kenny Reams. Free Kenny Reams. Free Kenneth Reams. Free Kenneth Reams.
So everyone is standing, the whole audience is standing for you, Kenneth. Ça va couper? Ah. Eh bien, je crois que c'est ce qu'il a entendu.
A été coupé,
Peut-être qu'on n'a pas entendu, mais il semblerait qu'on ait été coupé. En tout cas, je crois que ce qui est important, c'est qu'il a entendu que la dernière chose, c'était effectivement ce magnifique hommage que vous lui avez rendu, et je suis sûre que ça lui a fait du bien.
Merci beaucoup à tous. On peut tous aller boire un verre maintenant. Célébrer la liberté et l'espoir.
Et donc, ce que vous pouvez faire, c'est ce que Anne-Frédérique vous a proposé. Donc, vous inscrire pour être simplement tenu au courant de ce qui se passera, et peut-être, si le pire arrive, si son appel est rejeté, que vous puissiez peut-être aussi faire partie de la campagne qui va se dérouler pour essayer de faire avancer les choses dans un autre sens. Merci à tous d'être venus, et merci à ces hommes libres.
Ouais. Et donc les t-shirts, si vous voulez en acheter, je crois que c'est 15 francs, et on vous prendra en photo, ça sera pour la campagne, immortalisée. Merci.